to Girl Talk with Leah. I did not plan on filming this video. I just got this idea when I was taking a shower, so my hair is still damp, and that's okay. We're gonna get unready together. I decided to bring Norris with me for the session, and I'm also gonna wear AirPods. Look at how cute my AirPod case is. Adorable. I'm hoping that you guys can get like a better sound quality. Okay, let me get my hair done. I'm gonna wrap my hair in this. I just got this. You'll see it on my blog. Let's try to use this thing. To tie it up like this. Okay. Grades. Oh my gosh. I think I've always had like a pretty toxic relationship with studying. I grew up in Asia, so there we go. That's why, by the way. But even if it's really toxic, it still pays off because dang, oh my god. I'm a straight A student.
Ring-a-ding-ding!
There we go. But yes, don't expect any sort of like cliched advice in this video. I know a lot of YouTubers are gonna go like, oh, like I've watched Faye films before. She's a really sweet girl and I'm a huge fan of her. I think she's truly a wonderful, beautiful soul and I love and admire her so much. But I kind of disagree with some of the advice that she gives. Obviously, like, just because it works for her doesn't mean it works for me. But I'm gonna speak from my experience and I'm just gonna give you guys the raw truth of how I was able to maintain this grade and also how that all happened. In this video, I'm gonna go into details in terms of how I was able to achieve this. I'm gonna make like a separate video. Oh, sorry, Norris. I'm gonna make like a separate video on how to do good in IELTS. So do check that out. I think I'm gonna film it tonight as well so I can edit that during term break because I get 2 weeks off after this week and it's Wednesday. I just need to go to school for 2 more days and then I get like 2 weeks off, so. And before y'all go like, oh, like she's just really freaking smart. She's Asian, of course she gets good grades. That is completely false. I just want to mention that I'm actually a Gryffindor. I am not a Ravenclaw. So I can tell you the trait that I value the most as a person is determination. And I think if you are not determined enough, you're not going to succeed. So I think it's really important for you guys to have the right mindset. Because if you don't have the mindset, then you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to get anywhere. My lips are so chapped. But yeah, first things first, a lot of YouTubers tell you guys to wake up at 5. I did that for 2 months straight and my grades just weren't great that year. In fact, it was at like an all-time low that year. I was in year 10, I think, and I just chose my electives and I officially became a science student. So there was, because like science is the most sought after subjects in Asia. If you can't tell, everybody wants to be doctors. So when I got that spot, there was just so much pressure on me. I was barely passing chemistry. I was failing math, I think, that year. And it was just a really hard year. My routine was, so for like 2 years straight, I slept at 12 a.m., woke up at 5 a.m. I got 5 hours of sleep per day. I did not get any rest at all. It's crazy. I don't know how I did it, but I did it. I have no idea how I pulled it off. I really don't know. But yes, I think the reason why I started doing that was because I was like watching like way too many of those like study influencers, kind of like Faye films or something. I'm not calling anybody out, okay? Just because it works for them doesn't mean that will work for me. But at that point, I was too young and too naive to like really get that. So even for you guys, like right now I'm telling you guys, oh, like don't wake up at 5 a.m. It's more of like, if it works for you, then do it. but you need to learn to trial and error. Try to experiment with like waking up at like different times. So you can start off with like 8 a.m. If you feel like your mind is just like refreshed or something, then go ahead and study. If you don't, then try to sleep. Try to figure out the perfect sleeping schedule for you. Make sure that your routine is tailor-made for you. Just because it works for those YouTubers doesn't mean that it'll work for you. So you need to learn to experiment. I mean, you still have some time before, I don't know, your public examinations. Then utilize that time to just kind of figure things out. You need to learn to work things out for yourself. And you need to stop blindly just trusting the advice you get off YouTube or something. Like, learn, like, obviously, yes, you can learn from those study YouTubers, but you need to figure out a ways to bridge their advice, to build a bridge between their advice and also your life, because we are all different. Nobody has the same DNA, okay, except for identical twins then. But I'm talking about you and your favorite study YouTuber. Obviously, they can give out some great advice, but sometimes you just gotta like modify it a little so that it suits yourself. And it's kind of the same thing for this video. Even after I talk all of that stuff, after listening to the app, I know some of you guys may be taking notes of that, but I really hope that you understand the importance of modification. Just because it works for you doesn't mean that it works for me. So for me, I usually wake up at 8 a.m. and I read till 10 a.m. before I start studying. And on weekdays, I usually like go home, rest for 1 hour, and then start studying and start doing my schoolwork. Like, we all just gotta find our own balance. Another thing I want to talk about are Pomodoro timers. I know it's a huge thing. I have experimented with that method before, and I can tell you it's not pretty at all. In fact, yeah, in year 10, my grades were, I mean, I've mentioned that before, but my grades just kind of plummeted a lot. And it was a year where I worked the hardest, and I was most hard on myself during year 10. And during that year, one thing I did was follow Pomodoro timers. I've tried the 60-10 before. I tried the 55-5 before. I've never tried the 25-5 because I personally think it's a waste of time. And I've also tried the 45-3 before, and I ended up doing the 45-3 method. So I studied for 45 minutes straight, and then I get like a 3-minute break, and it's usually just to go to the bathroom. Oh my gosh. Once again, I have no idea how on earth I was able to pull that off. I don't know. But I still did it. And it failed miserably. My grades were really bad. And I was super sleep deprived. So don't do that. Get enough rest, people. Oh my gosh. I think the 25-5 method is pretty popular. And it's basically like the OG. I think this is exactly what the Pomodoro method is before people started turning it into like 55-5s. But I personally think that the 25-5 method is a waste of time. Because you're just studying for 25 minutes and you get a break. Like, come on. Come on. And during those 5 minutes, I'm pretty sure if you're going to have a break, you're just going to like scroll on Pinterest or something. How is that productive? And how is that? I mean, that's brain rot. I'm sorry. That's rotting your brain. Like, yeah, if you're taking that 5 minutes to just like look out of the window, then go for it. But like if you're looking on your phone and just going on Pinterest, like that is just I just will not recommend that. That is just rotting your brain at this point. Right now for me, I only take breaks when I want to take a break. So yeah. I actually don't, it's not like I don't have a routine when it comes to that, when it comes to studying. I take a break when I feel like my brain is dying. Right now, I don't really have like a routine or something when it comes to taking study breaks. I'm more of like if I feel like my brain is dying, then I'd take a break. Or if I finish like an entire book or like a few chapters and I feel satisfied with myself, then I will let myself take a break. And then when I feel better, I'm just gonna go back to my desk and start doing stuff again. The duration of my study breaks differ from time to time. As long as I feel like I'm in shape to start studying again and my brain is processing stuff again, then I would go back to my desk. And if I don't, then it's okay. I'll just continue taking a break. Next thing is to romanticize your life. Pretend you are your favorite academically validated character on TV. So for me, just, I kind of envision myself as like Hermione Granger or like Roy Gilmore, Paris Geller, and I do get a lot of like Elle Woods. But yeah, I do, I feel like I kind of like, I've gotten my personality from these characters, I guess. I personally use Pinterest a lot, which is why Pinterest is still on my phone, because it does give me a lot of study motivation. Just like watching my favorite characters study just makes me want to study, because like I want to be just like them. So just try to like romanticize your life a little. Just if you're like a fan of Gilmore Girls, then just go to a diner or something, go to a cafe, sip on your nice little matcha latte, and then sit and do your work. Romanticize life. It makes it easier, I swear. And yes, Pinterest. Take inspiration off of your favorite character's life and then, try to become that person. It's kind of like Atomic Habits. You have to fool yourself and to just create like this higher version of yourself and fake it till you make it. This is the last general tip that I'm going to give in this video. Do comment down below if you want more study tips, then I will gladly film another video for you guys. But this tip is something I swear by. I always tell my friends this, and it is power naps. For me, 15 minutes works best. Like, you do need to experiment a little. You can try doing 20, you can try doing 13, and usually when I feel like my brain is shutting down, kind of like how I'm feeling right now, I usually just lay down my bed, switch off all of the lights, and just, lay down for 15 minutes, and then when the alarm beeps, then just get up and then start working again. You'll feel a lot better. I swear to God, this is usually, like, whenever you feel yourself zone out, it means that it's time for a power nap. 15 minutes, get up, you'll feel a lot better. I swear by this. My friends are usually pretty skeptical when I tell them this, but this is the truth. This is a method I swear by, and I will always tell people to try this method. It works so well. Just take a little power nap, refresh your mind, and you'll feel a lot better, a lot sharper, and it's just a great way to get your brain working and make sure that your brain is, absorbing information again. So now on to the individual subjects. The first subject I'm going to talk about is English, and in fact I actually got an 8.5 for IELTS, and I'm going to make a video on how I got this score, but I'm just going to talk a little bit about learning English on here. For me, I grew up speaking English, so it's not a big deal. Hi, this is editor Amelia speaking. I just want to say I'm sorry because I feel like I didn't really give any good advice when it comes to learning a second language. But the truth is, I may be Chinese, but I grew up speaking English, and this is a little weird, I know, but that's because I have relatives from basically all around the world, and so yeah, that's why I learned English first. And I also learned to sing in English first, even though I'm Chinese. So that says a lot. But my parents suck at English. It's a good time to tell you that. And I'm basically self-taught. When I was younger, I did take a lot of tutorial classes with actual native speakers. So my teachers were from the States or from, I don't know, England or something, but they were all native speakers. So that kind of helped a lot. But of course, because of me having American relatives, it does help a lot because that's kind of the reason why it's my first language. And also, it's a great way to practice. And of course, I need to mention that it's really important to you just gotta interact with the language a bit more. So just try to speak in a language, like the language you're trying to learn, to your parents or something. Watch Netflix films with that, like in that language. If you do need to, like, do turn on the subtitles, but make sure it's in that language you're trying to learn instead of your native language. So yeah, hopefully this helps, and I'm sorry if it doesn't. I'm still gonna do like a IELTS tutorial thing in the future because like got him flaunt him, and also like I need some financial reward because like obviously an 8.5 is not enough. I need like something something. So yeah, stay tuned. For chemistry, chemistry is my favorite subject. It is my favorite subject. And I'm going to show you guys some of my notes for chemistry, but I gotta be careful because I feel like a lot of material in my notes. I've taken a lot of pictures of, like, a lot of stuff is from sources online, and I feel like I'm gonna get like a copyright strike if I show you guys that, which is why I cannot publish my notes or anything. This is my Good Notes chemistry page. Everything is filed, as you can see. Organic chemistry, redox reactions, rate of reactions, enthalpy. Everything is just mapped out, super clear. So yes, organizing is very important. You have to have good organization skills. So you can just, it just looks so neat and it's so satisfying. And yeah, usually my method for chemistry would be I have like a notebook for each chapter. So for example, this is on redox reactions. I'm going to click into chapter 31. That's copyrighted. Oh god, a lot of stuff. I can't show you this notebook. Do I have like a better option or something? Oh, I know. Don't worry. I'm going to click onto organic chemistry and I'm going to go to chapter 46, I guess. Okay, good. That's not copyrighted. Yeah, you can see I make my own notes. Always. So whenever you get, like, after class, immediately go home, make your own notes to just kind of like refresh yourself on the stuff going on. Especially for organic chemistry. I feel like a lot of people struggle in org chem, but organic chemistry is my favorite kind of like area in chemistry, and it's also I got the highest grade for a test paper on organic chemistry. So organic chemistry is my strength, and I just think it's, you know, it's a lot of fun. I love organic chemistry a lot. I'm weird, I know, and I'm proud of that, you know. And I usually have like a notebook, for example, the one I just showed you, and I also have like this book called Answer Techniques. It's usually on like the past like, oh my gosh, it's especially for like science subjects, it's super important. Like, it's super important for you to work on past papers. Just look up online, see if there are like any resources. Go to like Khan Academy or something. For me, lucky for me, one of my teachers, my chemistry teacher, he gave us a ton of past papers, so I just worked on every single one of them. I finished like 2 to 3, even like 4 MC booklets within like a few months in preparation for midterms. So it's really important for you to do your past papers, especially for science subjects. And so I have like this exam techniques booklet. So it's basically on questions that I get wrong. That's copyrighted material. I don't think you can see it, but there are like some questions I just kind of like screenshotted the questions that I got, like, that I did incorrectly, and I put them here. And yeah, this is just some remarks, some questions, something I need to like take note of. So yes, have like, so on your Good Notes page, open a notebook just for your notes. So usually after class, just when you're in class, just jot notes on a piece of paper or something, and then go home, look through those notes, look through your textbook, and then cultivate your very own set of notes. There's no particular note-taking method I use for chemistry. So that's one thing to take note of. Just do whatever makes you feel happy. Use colors, make it fun, make it pink, I don't know. Just do whatever works for you. And then have another notebook for your exam techniques. So usually when it comes to chemistry, usually there's like a structure in terms of how you answer that question. Copy all of those down in this little booklet and just try to memorize it. Like I never really memorized any like answering techniques for like long questions. Instead, because I do those past papers too often, I just kind of have like, I don't know, I just kind of had like accustomed to this sort of like answering method. So I don't really like need to memorize everything, but still put it in there, put all of your mistakes in one notebook. And yeah, this is how you do chemistry. Thing I want to emphasize on studying for chemistry is that past papers are so important. I've said this so many times, but when it comes to chemistry, it's not about your memorization skills, it's more about your understanding. And yes, if you do more past papers, you would start to understand how the questions are set and the standards and how you should reply to the long questions. You kind of get the idea how the exam papers are set, which is really important. There is a pattern when it comes to chemistry and the questions they ask. And I just think it's very great for you to just, if you could like take note of like, that. This is how my GoodNotes page is structured for biology. So I have a different file for each book I've taken. And I'm just gonna like random click onto one. Okay, this is book 1B, and we have digestive systems, respiratory systems, and circulatory systems. And yes, usually, oh yeah, and also I personally actually use flashcards for biology. So if you're learning about anatomy, for example, if you're like doing anatomy or like if you're learning about just the most basic stuff, for example, like components of a cell, you can go like, oh, like what is mitochondria, and then you flip and you go like, oh, like um, it is the site for respiration, and it produces like ATP or something like that. So this is how you use flashcards, and I think flashcards are immensely helpful when it comes to biology because there are like so many like little like technical terms, and I feel like biology, like this is where biology and chemistry differs. Chemistry is more about like your skills doing past papers and stuff, and I'm not saying that it's unimportant to do like past papers for biology, but even if you don't do many past papers, it's still okay. And biology, like for chemistry, you kind of like need to understand, oh, if like metal reacts with like an acid or something, this happens. Like there is a pattern when it comes to chemistry. But for biology, there is not a pattern. And you just kind of like need to squeeze everything into your brain. Like for chemistry, it's predictable, but for biology, it's not. And it's really important for you to like understand and remember, just memorize the keywords in biology and the major terms, the systems, everything. So biology is definitely more of like a memory based subject instead of a skill based subject. So this is how you do biology. So okay, I'm going to show you a set of my notes. Once again, I'm trying to look for one where I'm not going to get copyrighted. Okay, I'm not going to get copyrighted for this. This is of the respiratory system. And the reason why I can't show a ton of my pages is because I actually did combine like a lot of pictures from textbooks and stuff like that. So I can't show you that. Because a lot of stuff I screenshotted it off of my textbooks. So I can't show you that, or I'm gonna get copyrighted. And also some of this old material I have is from my old teacher, and I don't feel comfortable putting her resources online because it's not mine. I'm just like trying to look through. I can't see. Yeah, I literally, there's nothing I can show you. But yeah, I use a Cornell method though, so this is how the note paper looks. So I usually leave this blank. This is where if I have like any like extra remarks, I'm just gonna list them out here. This is actually not how the Cornell note-taking method is supposed to work, but this is my life, I don't care. People use this for summaries, and I also use this for summaries, but I do not include words in the, well, I do include words, but they usually exist in a form of tables. So I just like put like little tables to summarize the chapter here, or whatever is on this page. This is the body. No, I don't use this part. This is how I deal with biology. And likely I do a ton of past papers for biology too, so that's important to take note of. But especially for biology, I usually focus more on doing multiple choice questions because it's the fastest way for you to just check in on yourself and make sure you really do understand the concepts. Anyway, it's time for me to log off and start editing this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want more study tips, then please comment down below like what you want to see in the future. Any specific subjects you want to like get tips on, just comment down below, and I'm just gonna read your comments, and I'm gonna try to make more videos on this if you guys want to, of course. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I love you all. Say bye, Doris. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.